ran into a health scare where it actually ended up putting me in a hospital for what I didn't know was a panic attack.
Oh.
Felt like my heart was coming through my chest. I couldn't move, couldn't really breathe, didn't really have any asthmatic issues in the past because, you know, military, you can't have asthma. So the feeling of just losing my breath, I realized there was so much I was like holding in. It was just pent up. And I had to find different outlets on how to articulate when something is wrong, be a little bit more proactive in my voice rather than be reactive to it. And I'd say be in a lot of different relationships, in my working relationships, my family dynamics, so I can show up more for myself first.
Was that your first panic attack?
That I remember, yes. I feel like when I was a kid, I used to say stuff like, ooh, I got the bubble guts. I feel nervous. What? Ooh, my stomach hurt. What's going on? Whole time not really realizing that was anxiety. But to actually put a name to it where it sent me to the hospital, I didn't realize the severity of keeping it quiet, keeping it cute. Because I realized internally that wasn't cute. Awesome. Well, hi.
Hello, boys and girls.
Right.
It's your girl, nameless.
Right.
With a story to tell.
Oh my gosh. Oh, right. I forgot to ask too. I need like towels so I can like wipe.
Oh, I was supposed to grab you a
I didn't
towel.
even think about that until just
My
now.
bad.
No, you're good.
We got started in that story and I totally forgot.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's not. It's not okay. It's not okay. Here's a towel.
Yeah, that was me fighting the air with
It's not okay. All right, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
You could go ahead and get the scrubbing.
Awesome. Get the scrubbing.
So what are the name of these sneakers?
These are the Jordan 1s. Not the 2 or the 3.
What is the significance of the Jordan 1s?
One of my favorite games right now is Spider-Man, the Miles Morales. And when I saw one of his uniforms with the, not only the Timbs, but he got the Jordan 1s with the comic book, like green on the outside, I definitely had to grab a pair.
Are these comfortable sneakers?
Yes.
Are you a sneakerhead?
I would say I used to be.
Ish. What was it like being a sneakerhead? Tell me your journey. I feel like you're being real quiet about the sneaker thing. You look like you've had these for a brick. Like, what year are these? Let's really get into it.
Yes, I mean, so yeah, I got them when the first Spider-Man video game came out, and I definitely was hooked. So yeah, I want to say for about a year, 2 years, 2 years now, I've had these. But definitely, I would consider myself a sneakerhead. Been playing basketball since I was about 10 years old, so always trying to have the appropriate sneaker, ankle support, just flyness. That was always something I needed.
What does it mean to be a sneakerhead?
It means pretty much got a sneaker for any occasion, any type of like style, wear. You can keep it cute, keep it cozy, comfortable, but you can also dress it up. And just being able to live in both those worlds, that's how you could be a sneakerhead.
How much years of sneaker experience do you have built up?
I want to say on my own, I want to say my senior year of high school, was able to buy the Crazy Eights Kobe's for my senior year, and I want to say I just got rid of those right after his passing, actually.
Oh, that must have been hard.
Great ankle support. Okay.
That was around the time you was trying to avoid all those ankle injuries.
You know what? Hello.
You seem like the creative type. You've created shows.
Yes.
What's the significance of creating a show?
I think honestly, I just needed an outlet. I really needed an outlet to feel like, for my corporate life, for my adulting so much, that I really needed an outlet to just talk shit. I feel like in a corporate setting, I can't really speak my mind, especially as a Black woman. So keeping that within was constricting, and I really needed an outlet and find therapy with talking it out, honestly.
Have you always needed an outlet in life?
Oh, always.
Oh, that's real.
Always.
What's the importance of an outlet?
I mean, the different demographics that I identify with, being a woman, being a Black woman. This world, this country can make me feel like my voice don't mean shit. So when you do get into these spaces where you have to be professional, keep it cute, keep it, it gets constricting. And I just need to be able to flow and just be my natural born self.
When creating an outlet, how important are the people that you let in and out of that space of creation?
Very important. I would like to freely give, but sometimes that can bite you in the tail. So you have to be very conscious of how, what you allow other people to experience of you.
Can you give me an example?
Oof, that was water. I definitely will say, I always say this when it comes to like white folks. I always like make them a plate at the cookout, right? You have those folks that are just like, like the John B's or the Justin Timberlakes, like we can have these kind of conversations, but if we got like a Becky or a Karen, like I don't feel like I have to explain myself. I don't feel like I have to shrink myself to make you feel comfortable. Nah, I don't want you to know what's going on. And if I'm too much, which I always run into, joke respectfully.
How important is having a good partner to your outlet experience?
Oof, very. Like, you just need to be able to have somebody that just like has your back with no judgment. I think sometimes we find a partner based on the looks and what they have, but like, is there actual chemistry? Is there actual like time where you can figure out how can we make this from a you problem to a we problem? Like, where's the collective work? Where is that, feeling like we're a village together and we can build and incorporate other people in this establishment? I think that's a huge characteristic to have, is to be very like open, collaborative, transparent, to allow that that partnership in your creative spaces, for sure.
How important is it to work with someone who supports you as you create?
What was the question one more time?
How important is it to work with someone who supports you as you create?
How important is it?
Mm-hmm.
Very important. Like I always say, when it comes to raising these kids, it takes a village. But you really have to be just on the same page constantly, because you're going to come with ups and downs. Like, we're human. But you need that like space to just be able to break it down and talk honestly with vulnerability, where there's no like blaming one another. And again, just how can we make this from a you problem to a we problem? It makes it so much better. It makes the solutions flow so much better.
For you, what was the sign that it was time for you to stop creating with your partner?
Honestly, just feeling like I didn't really have a voice. It was a particular instance where we received feedback from our creative outlet, and the biggest thing was, hey, your voice isn't really being amplified, and you have something to talk about, but we can't really hear you. I tried to have the conversation. It turned from, oh yeah, and I tried to provide solutions. Like, we could possibly turn up my mic, turn down your mic, anywhere to meet halfway. Maybe I can strike up more conversations that I would align with the most. Any type of solutions just to bring up to the conversation. But when you have somebody who is not willing to even hear you and becomes super defensive, it's hard to meet in the middle while creating that space.
Looking back at that experience, what would you have done differently?
I think starting out at the beginning, I should have asked questions like, well, how do you respond well to feedback? How do I respond well to feedback? How do you like to be glorified? How do you like to be supported? Just communication styles, because we both come from different, I want to say like workspaces. I don't really work in education, not until recently. And I understand how important, voicing your opinion is important. But when you have somebody who works in corporate, sometimes it feels like, already their voice is silent. So just being able to have that partner who understands that's what you work in, that's the space that you give in, just asking for that patience early on, I think would have been a lot helpful, rather than trying to push through when it really was just like dimming my light at the same time.
Would you say their placement in the show was misunderstood?
Oh, very much so.
How so?
Very misunderstood because I felt like this was the podcast on how to develop relationships, on how, and all aspects. This can be workplace wellness. This can be family dynamics. This can be in our loving relationships. Like, how do we, find that balance through it all?
Yeah.
And I think being able to, again, discuss that early on to create that like stern, healthy foundation is what keeps partners in that creative space and that creative flow be so positive. You just have to really keep checking in.
Did that make you consider your use of boundaries with yourself and others around you?
Oh, for sure. I really feel like now I think what it was for me, right after we decided to call it quits, I ran into a health scare where it actually ended up putting me in a hospital for what I didn't know was a panic attack.
Oh.
felt like my heart was coming through my chest. I couldn't move, couldn't really breathe, didn't really have any asthmatic issues in the past because, military, you can't have asthma. So the feeling of just losing my breath, I realized there was so much I was like holding in. It was just pent up. And I had to find different outlets on how to articulate when something is wrong, be a little bit more proactive in my voice rather than be reactive to it. And I'd say be in a lot of different relationships, in my working relationships, my family dynamics, so I can show up more for myself first.
Was that your first panic attack?
That I remember, yes. I feel like when I was a kid, I used to say stuff like, ooh, I got the bubble guts. I feel nervous. Ooh, my stomach hurt. What's going on? Whole time not really realizing that was anxiety. But to actually put a name to it where it sent me to the hospital, I didn't realize the severity of keeping it quiet, keeping it cute. Because I realized internally that wasn't cute. I'm trying to be fine on the outside and on the inside.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
Speak up. And we could find tact on how to speak up, but not speaking up is a disservice to yourself. You got this.
What's the importance of understanding the content and the voice that you are adding behind the content?
So if you're going to be talking about a subject matter, you got to be very confident in what you're talking about. Because I feel like people can pick up on that bullshit. Just say for instance, you got somebody who's from Waldorf, right? But they constantly claim, oh yeah, I'm from DC, I'm from DC. People can pick up on that shit. We know you from the boonies, stop it. You got a driveway, quit it. But being able to just be authentic in everything that you do, people will gravitate towards it. So it's just being as authentic as possible, learning your craft at all times, and just never stop being a student. Okay, these coming along a little bit. I may have to use that big brush. I ain't gonna hold you.
In the creation space, what do you see next for yourself?
So I decided to go back to school last year. I really was motivated by my family.
How so?
As folks started being in the hospital for just things that were within our control. I understand Black trauma, it trickles down into our bodies, and we may experience diabetes and high blood pressure, heart disease, heart failure as a race, because that trauma really does trickle down into us. But what is it that we can do that we can control that? It's by how we eat. And I love food. But how do we use it for the nourishment of ourselves? So I decided to go back to school for nutrition science to understand why do these chronic illnesses occur? Why is it like that? Why are certain medications, Depo, why does it have a harsher effect on Black folks? I want to be able to understand how we can also incorporate more Eastern medicine, natural remedies, and really heal the body. And really focusing on that has allowed me to want to talk more at the schools, talk more with my family. So I'm really looking into getting back into podcasting to talk about these different chronic illnesses, to talk about these different lifestyle changes, paleo, pescatarian, and the benefits of what it does for the body. And I know we could do it. Like, that's the thing. Like, we always call it like a fad, like a diet, but it just takes one day to just build a habit and somebody in their corner to really motivate them, because you could feel like, geez, like, I just gained 2 more pounds. Dang, I just gained 5 pounds after Thanksgiving. What's going on? But like having somebody be like, hey, indulge, but then we getting back to it. Like, what we doing? Let me check back in with you and make it realistic for all of us, especially us.
What would you say was the most important lesson of 2024?
Stop second guessing myself. I would definitely say that, because it's something about when I go with my first instinct and then I like think too much, too fast, boom, that ain't the right choice. And I'd be like, damn, like if I just went with my first gut. And again, that's where that anxiety just builds up. And it just becomes like this slow eating, like flesh eating monster. Like, when I could have just went with my first gut. So I'm going to stop second guessing myself, stop playing small, and just show up wholeheartedly. Thank you, friend. I saw that hand. I said, oh. This is really nice. I really am getting some stuff done. Like, you have no idea. I'm trying to clean these bad boys.
Are these your everyday shoe or your dream shoe?
Every day.
What makes these your everyday shoe?
Because I can wear it with anything. Any color. I definitely wore this to like some sort of a holiday gala, okay? And it was raining that day, so don't judge me for this gulk right now. But yeah, I just love the fact that you could just style it up, style it down. And they're cozy, they're comfortable. Just slip those bad boys on. Good.
How would you say you treat yourself in comparison to your everyday shoe?
I do wait last minute with my shoes, but when the springtime come around, or like when an event is coming up, I do get a chance to clean them. Better late than never, but I do try my best to make sure that they're out looking somewhat decent. Not the best every time, but somewhat decent.
What are 3 lessons you say you've learned from podcasting with a partner?
3 lessons. Find out your strengths, both of y'all. Find out who's great or better at one thing, whether that is editing photos or editing, audio and visuals. If someone is great with outreach, connecting with people. I know for myself, I love sending inquiry emails to get on live show podcasts. Like, Oh, they're having a podcast festival. Let me see how we can get on the panel real quick. Also, not be so much of an opportunist. Like, really focus on that network aspect and bridging those connections. And just staying in contact. Like, don't just utilize these people and then just drop them like a bad habit. I'm really big on not trying to burn bridges. Unless, of course, it's affecting my money, then you gotta go.
You gots to go.
You gots to. Okay, can't do it. And then always speak highly of your craft, of each other. Saying things like, oh, well, this episode wasn't as good. No, fuck all that negativity. We got it on the next track. We got it on it. At least we were able to learn something from this last episode. But don't beat each other up. Like really, really, really pouring into one another. Not beating each other up.
How long did you exist in the creation space before you took a break?
How long after?
No, how long did you exist in it? Like, how long were you guys running the shows for?
2 years? I want to say it was 2018. Yeah, 3 years. 3 years. Wow. You even just saying that out loud. Wow. Yeah, because I want to say we did 3 seasons and a live show podcast and some other neat stuff in between. Yeah, 3 years. Wow.
Looking back at those relationships, do you ever wonder what could have been? Or are you satisfied with the door being closed on that?
I am actually pretty... I do feel like at the end of the day, this was my friend, you know, and if the breakup didn't end so harshly, I would be excited to get back on the mic with my friend. But I think sometimes what happens in the creative field starts transpiring in the relationship. It can kind of build that like resentment.
See, now you got to give me more. You can't say that and not expect someone to say, all right, see, now you got to give me more. Respectfully.
Yeah. Woo, is this what hot? Wow. So that all goes with saying with the whole like feeling hurt. I really felt like that was also transpiring in the actual relationship. So, you know, we had went through transitions in our relationship during the time of the podcast. We were just dating. We were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Then 2 years later, we transitioned into a home where honestly, we were paying less than what we were paying for a 1-bedroom apartment for a 3-bedroom house, okay?
Home under your name.
Yes, must add, home under my name. I have 7 aunts. They all had some sort of man issue where they have like made a big purchase with a boyfriend, a fiance, and it just never really worked out for them. So just to be on the safe side, I decided to put the house in my name, yes. Years later,
you won your bet. You won your bet.
I won my bet.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, the house happened. A year after that, the engagement happened. The engagement felt really nice. It felt very genuine. Loved it. 2 years after that, you know what? I'm skipping it. I'm skipping so much right now. Here we go. Got engaged. Got a really nice basement set up where we can record, get things started. But then I started feeling like he low-key did not like me. Like he just kind of hated me. I don't know. I love the fact that we were just always just so solution based. Like we always found a way for us to figure out the solutions together. I think once I bought the house, it went from, oh no, you got it. Oh, you got it. But that didn't make me feel confident in our relationship. So then it started transpiring into podcasting and creating content with him. Does this feel genuine? Does this feel like is this somebody I really want to truly build with? Those kind of questions came up. And during this engagement, I saw a need. Let's go into therapy. If we're talking about developing these relationships, if we're talking about not having a musty brain and having better family dynamics, shouldn't we be able to practice what we preach? So that stuff kind of made me fall off the relationship because, again, you need to have somebody who's willing to be in the paint with you. Like, are you really going to grab up for these rebounds? Are you going to run back and hustle to get the ball when it's the other team's on offense? Like, where's the hustle? Where's the passion? Where is that love?
Put me in, coach.
Okay. Shit. Roker. I don't know. I just made that player up. But I think that's what it is. Just having somebody on your team. Like, I just need a fucking, like,
hold me down like I'm supposed to drown.
Yeah. Like Kobe and Shaq type. I don't know. Or like a Tim Duncan and Tony Parker or something. I don't know. Just like hold me down.
When you said Kobe and Shaq, I was like, they broke up.
They definitely broke up. That's why I was like, I take it back. But, dude, just give me a good, like I was the 1, I was the point, and you're the 5. You in the center.
Dirk and Tony.
Dirk, did I say Dirk? I'm gonna say Dirk and Tony, not Tim Duncan.
No, I got you.
Yeah, because Timothy is.
Oh, Tim. Oh, Timothy.
Oh, yes. By the way, Dirk is definitely married to a black woman. Yeah. Like and had a traditional wedding and everything.
Did you see, you ever seen the specials on him when he was like bringing his food from home and it was always home cooked food in the Tupperware? He always went back home with the Tupperware.
Oh my God.
He would be in trouble if the Tupperware wasn't coming back.
Yo, no, for real. Oh, that's a solid black woman. Good for him. Mm-hmm. No. And I love how like they also just age well.
Yeah.
You know, when you get with a black woman, like they just gonna take care of you. They gonna get you in the natural skin regimens. Mm-hmm. They gonna get you out the way.
Slow you down in the right areas.
Yes, for real. Like his skin looks phenomenal. But I really just needed somebody to just be like, hey, I mean, we both have seen long-term relationships. His family, his parents were, married over 35 years. My parents are just now touching 35.
Yeah.
This year. So it just was like, we have great examples to build this love. I just didn't understand like what stopped, what changed. Was it the house? Was it us not, meeting in the middle? I was trying to find those answers. So I felt like I was trying to get us into therapy, and after months of begging us to go to therapy, I had to end things, because then I again started feeling sick of not having my voice heard, and it felt very lonely. I felt like I always had to try to put this facade on, like, no, we're good, we're just working things out, no, I'm silently unhappy, and this man is not listening to me and making it a me problem.
Also, you being unhappy started manifesting physically.
Yeah, that's when it sent me to the hospital in 2023.
Is that terrifying when A, you get sick, B, you find out you're sick because of something related to mental health,
yeah,
and C, you find out you got sick because of something related to mental health that's related to this person
mm-hmm.
that you love and the things you both have together in this relationship.
Oh yeah.
Like,
sure.
what does that do to you specifically?
I felt like I went from being in a loving relationship to being kind of on survival. And when I broke up with him, you know, his response was, "You're just giving up on us. You're just giving up on us." And I just felt like, man, you gave up on us a long time ago when we couldn't have these honest conversations anymore.
So would it be fair to say that sometimes in relationships, people are so worried about the relationship continuing to work that they're not aware of when the relationship has actually ended?
Yeah.
Is that a good way to put it?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I really feel like once, because you know, you live together, it's a lot of things incorporated in your everyday.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just kind of like, fuck. Like, how do you actually like move on from this? It was hard. It was a lot of gray area. Like, oh yeah, I live here, but we still like, you know, we do things. But loving wise, like I didn't feel safe. Like it just felt like anytime I would say something, is it gonna be like an underhand, what did he say? A compliment? Because I also, not only did my mental health was affected from the relationship, but again, workplace wellness. That was also affecting me as well. When I was in the hospital, I think what really affected me when I told him that I was having these chest pains, he didn't come to the doctors to see me. I ended up having to call a friend, and she drove me home. And I just felt like this is no longer my person, and I can't. I think sometimes he thought like, well, since you got the house, you strong enough. You got it. But that was the disappointment for me, and I couldn't no longer. So if I'm the villain right now, that's all right. Because I'm gonna tell you, 2024 was a lot of vocalizing, but a lot of happiness within myself. That I have no regrets in 2024. None. Got my swing on, you know what I'm saying? I got some sleep. I didn't hear no snoring, you know what I'm saying? It was wonderful. But I just couldn't muster another year not feeling heard and supported.
What's the dangers of getting out of that kind of relationship but continuing to live in each other's space?
The dangers. Definitely. Oof. It's a very dangerous game to play. The access that you think that you have. That's why I said it's a very gray area. It's a very like weird space to be in. But you gotta be like, look, in this new dynamic, in this new relationship, this is how it's gonna go. And when they violate that, then that's when you have to really be like firm, stern. Get the fuck out. You got 30 days. I'm so sorry. And again, that's where I had to be the villain because I felt violated. We couldn't have the conversations even after begging, you know, for months. Let's go to therapy. Let's have an unbiased opinion of like, how can we effectively build our communication style as we're going through these transitions. Beautiful transitions, but how can we just get better? That's okay. But I think there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of too much change for him. I don't know. I couldn't really get the honest conversation out of him. And just being like, look, it's okay. I mess up too. You mess up too. But how can, again, we make this an us problem versus this is your problem. You have to figure it out. Because what if, like, you know, God forbid, an immediate family, like our parents had passed away, and how we're dealing and how we're moving through grieving, and you're just looking at me from the outside like, well, this is more of a you problem. I would feel like I'm alone on this island while also dating this person. It's not a good feeling. So, I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Girl, take your time. You forgot the question. I just pictured that whole thing go down, and I said, oh, you got it.
Yeah.
you got it.
Because the real ones know. The real ones know. The ones that I haven't even gotten a chance to really talk to, you know, they have this whole narrative that I'm just like, I just left them out for dry. I just was like, nah, I ain't doing this no more. Like, there had to have been things that led up to that. And that's why I said I had to try to keep it cute, keep it on mute.
I honestly think, though, some people just don't care.
That part too.
Honestly,
I think too.
There's particular people who are like, this is none of my business. I don't care. It doesn't affect my bottom line.
That's true.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And then there's people who just belittle the story and the truth to your childish, knowing that if it was them, they would never accept that from anybody themselves.
Facts. Like, I do a lot of, like, work with, like, okay, you know, did you eat today? Like, what was the best part of your day? Like, I'm a natural healer as well. Because, like, just the work that you do, like, Juice, like, I feel like I'm very similar in that aspect of, like, I brought that nurturing spirit into the podcast. And, you know, he brought his funny, and it was a good mix of, like, we're the auntie and uncles that are highly concerned of, like, how are you building these positive relationships? But I couldn't fake the funk in talking about these topics anymore if we're not going to practice it in our own relationship.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right. And no, you got to really practice what you preach, because people are going to pick up on that. Again, don't bullshit me. I'm going to see right through that shit. Okay. Yeah, we get somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. But I love, like, I have no regrets with that experience either. I'm just glad that I got my mind. I got my people, you know, still got my home, my beautiful home that I'm willing to, you know, do some great investments with. Should be renting by March here soon, from folks that are, like, paying an exponential amount for a 1-bedroom apartment. I think it's like $2,000, $2,100 that they're paying for a 1-bedroom. And I'm like, you can get a 3-bedroom house, 1.5 bath, $2,400. And my mortgage is $16,000. Like, come on. I'll take care of it.
Honestly, I'm very sure they would have been very comfortable with 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I feel like I could.
I care.
I care.
You care. You care. And, you know, you want to do right by strangers.
Period. Because that karma energy is so real.
Yeah. But the market that you're in, putting it at 3 isn't over the market. That's still below.
Yeah.
What's being asked for on that side.
Well, so, 1-bedroom? I said 21?
Yeah.
Man, my first apartment when I was living in New Orleans, child, 2-bedroom apartment, 1 bath, $927.
Yeah.
I was like, that was like 2014, 2015.
It's a different world.
It's a different time.
A decade later, it's a different world.
We need to bring back $20 to fill up my tank. You know what I'm saying? Just bring them back.
Bring it back. Please bring it back.
Reese's used to be 79 cents. What is this?
Oh, Jesus.
And in Arizona, it says it on the can now.
Don't get me started.
It says it on the can now. But yeah, I really feel like that karma energy is real. I feel like if you give somebody, just a little wiggle room, it just comes back in your life. Like if you constantly steal or if you're constantly being dishonest, you start to see that in your future.
You use the word honesty a lot.
Yes.
Why is honesty and the existence of honesty so important to you?
I mean, I really, I'm a Cancer. So if I find that you're not honest, I'm gonna cut you. So, it's just, I just really encourage that. And that's why I feel like in 2024, that was my lesson. Just being honest with myself. Don't second guess myself. Like, that's what I feel like anxiety is. You just lying to yourself. Like, maybe that's not what it's all about, but that's my theory. And to unpack that anxiety, you have to lie to yourself a little bit to get back to equilibrium. But no, honesty is just crucial. I won't know until you tell me. And that goes with any and all relationships. I won't know until you tell me. I'm no mind reader. And I say that in all my relationships, I'm no mind reader. Because you have to use your voice, always. Or else I won't know. How can I help you? Help me help you with your honesty. And then I can show up, whether that is you need a vent session or you need solutions. But I won't know until you tell me.
Was that the first one you were cleaning before?
Yes. I should have did like a before and after.
It was cool. That's what the videos are for.
Yeah.
You can put you did work on them sides.
That's what I'm saying. It was like the sides was looking
You want to put go ahead, wipe down the table, then dry off the sneakers and put both on the table.
Okay. I just gotta make sure there ain't no like stains around, like the rings.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta make sure them joints squeaky. I really appreciate how disarming this is, though. Like, it's a win-win situation where I'm actually cleaning my shoes, but you're getting the honest conversations with honest people. Like, I love that.
Thank you. You are the second person to say that to me today.
Nice.
In my second interview of In My Shoes today.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it's very much needed. Because sometimes interviews can feel a little like, oh, I'm nervous, I don't know what to say. Mm-hmm. But like, to be able to just do what I do on a regular basis and do it with a person that I like, just, you just my heart. So
same.
Yeah, geez, Cancer.
What was I gonna say? Now that you've cleaned your everyday shoe,
yeah, sir.
How would you say you treat yourself in comparison to your everyday shoe?
Well, right now it's feeling like I just need to take the time to just pour into myself. That rest, that time to eat, that time to read scripture. I gotta really focus on how do I tend to my garden. If I constantly neglect my shoes, if I constantly neglect my garden, my life, my sleep, it really starts to show how like beat up that shit is, And what I am grateful for with 2024 was the fact that I was able to say no a lot. No, I can't make it to that happy hour. No, I cannot make it to that dinner. But I'll catch y'all later. And I was feeding that glow within myself. Like, how do I pour back into what makes me happy, what makes me shine? So that now in 2025, I can actually like wholeheartedly show up in these spaces. and being able to clean my everyday shoes where I can dress it up, dress it down. I can just go in these events confidently, boldly, unapologetically, and look fresh as fuck. So I'm actually really excited to wear these tonight. I ain't gonna hold you. You. I am funny, I am soft, and I am brilliant. And this is a day in my shoes.